was that? Joaquin Buckley? Bro, you ruined the whole script by forgetting how to defend takedowns for 4 rounds. Ugh. Bro, I was really looking forward to Buck vs. Cuck. And I was so excited for a potential MMA Guru promotion campaign for Buck vs. Cuck. He promised that he would put his full promotion powers behind that fight. And that fight would have been such an amazing fight for the fans. And the memes, bro, the memes would have been sensational. Now I wish Buckley got taken down and held down in the 5th round as well. Because now I'm pissed off. Come on! Knowing that Buckley actually could have won. If only he fought like he did in the 5th. For at least 3 rounds. Couldn't you have fought like this in the 3rd or 4th? You know, maybe even the 2nd? Oh. He had Usman shooting takedowns for dear life. Bro was desperately trying to cling on to his consciousness. Where was that the whole fight? Buckley had me, a full-grown man, screaming at my TV in that 5th round. Buckley, bro. Come on. If Buckley fought like that for the first 3 rounds, he would have finished Usman. He had no urgency to defend any takedowns at all, or to get back up until the 5th round. He was not fighting hard to defend the takedown, get back up, or to create enough space for a scramble situation. He would always accept the positions. Against Usman, that's a death sentence. That was a disgraceful performance from Buckley. Disgraceful. Shame on you, bro. Shame on you. On the feet, Usman had nothing for Buckley, as I predicted. Every time they came together, Buckley was lighting Usman up with combinations. Not everything landed, but he landed a lot of uppercuts, and those were landing all fight long. However, Usman's wrestling turned out to be too much for Buckley to handle. At least for the first few rounds. Also, I don't agree with the notion that this fight was a domination. Except for the 1st and 5th rounds, Usman was laying and praying for the most part. It wasn't like Usman was passing guard, constantly transitioning from mount to side control, going for back takes, or setting up submissions with devastating ground and pound. Buckley was simply beaten by experience and fight IQ. Buckley, bro, you were supposed to win. You were supposed to move the welterweight division forward and set up a fight with Ian Gary, the fabled Buck versus Cuck. But now, all of that has been ruined. Kamaru Usman was supposed to be a layup for you, Buckley. I thought after the Colby performance, Buckley was going to steamroll past Kamaru Usman. However, Usman turned out not to be fully washed. He showed he can still wrestle, at least when Buckley wouldn't give resistance. I am worried though about him on the feet moving forward. I've never seen Usman this desperate to wrestle before in a fight. When Buckley finally started defending the takedowns in the 5th round, I was just waiting until Usman would get finished. But to his credit, he survived. If Usman had fought JDM that night, he would have been annihilated. Look, Buckley is a decent and explosive striker, but he isn't nearly as technical as JDM or Ian Gary. Usman wanted nothing to do with Buckley on the feet at all. He wanted nothing of that. He didn't want the smoke. If that was the case with Buckley on the feet, imagine like Shafka, JDM, Ian Gary, these guys, potentially a Carlos Prates if he manages to put some wins together. I am very worried for Kamaru Usman. If he can only hang on the feet with wrestlers. Buckley! That was so bad, bro. Now we have to wait even longer for Buck versus Cuck. Yes, I'm coping. I know I'm coping. Alright, let me cope in peace, bro. Anyways, Usman should fight Bilal next. Oh! And the build-up to that fight should be pretty darn amazing. I mean, it should be sensational. It's going to provide us with a lot of memes, and I love it. And again, Usman should stay clear of Shafkat, JDM, and Brady. I think those fights are a bit too much for him, especially Shafkat and JDM. Those dudes, man, they're scary. I do not want Usman around those guys at all. As for Buckley, he should take a couple of months off, work on his game, develop his game, fix that takedown defense, and come back at the end of the year and fight Leon Edwards. I think that's the perfect fight to make. They're both coming off a loss, and Buckley is still fighting up in the rankings, which could still give us Buck versus Cuck next year. A man can only dream. Now it's time to move on to Jamahal Hill against Khalil Rountree Jr. This is going to be an absolute banger of a fight. I promise you that. Jamahal and Khalil tend to give us bangers, and I think it's going to happen again. Now, they both lost to the GOAT, Alex Pereira, last year. And Hill is coming off a loss to Yuri in an absolute banger of a fight as well. And Khalil is coming directly from his title fight with Alex Pereira. Khalil gave Alex a real run for his money, even dropping Alex. But Alex was sick in that fight and on antibiotics, and he still beat Khalil. So is that really more that Alex was sick or Khalil really rising to the occasion? I don't know. Hill, on the other hand, got knocked out in the first round by Alex and then got knocked out again against Yuri. The one aspect that will determine the outcome of this fight is going to be the footwork. Jamahal Hill's footwork is disgusting. Khalil has much better footwork than Jamahal Hill, and I think that's going to be the big difference in this fight. In Hill's last fight, you saw how Yuri managed to get the better of him by having better footwork as one of the reasons he knocked out Jamahal Hill. Also, knowing Jamahal is coming off 2 losses, actually 2 knockout losses mind you, I don't know if he's mentally there. And that Yuri loss was still pretty recent. He lost to him in January. Khalil's last fight was back in October against Alex. And after his performance against Alex, I think he now has the confidence that he belongs in there with the best. And Jamahal, well, he's been losing to the best. Not only losing, but getting finished. And I think that's why he's coming back so soon, because he wants to prove to not only himself, but the fans as well, that he still belongs there. Compare that with Khalil, I think he's coming into this fight with much more belief that he can actually win. That is why I'm going to go for Khalil Rountree Jr. to win this fight against Jamahal Hill. Anyways, what do you guys make of Usman Buckley? And do you agree with my pick for UFC Baku? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoy the videos and would like to support the channel, you can do that by buying me a coffee with the link in the description. That's it from me. Have a great weekend, you guys. And I'll see you for my UFC 317 preview. Peace.